Part 2, finding zeros of polynomial functions. Find the real zeros of f of x equals 2x cubed plus x squared minus 13x plus 6. To find the rational zeros, I'm going to use the rational zeros theorem. My factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6, and they're negatives. And my factors of 2 are 1 and 2. So I'm going to divide all the factors of 6 by all the factors of 2. So my list would be 1 divided by 1, 2 divided by 1, 3 divided by 1, 6 divided by 1. Then divide all those by 2, so 1 divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, that's already on our list. 3 divided by 2. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3, that's on our list already. So these are our potential rational zeros. To test, I'll start with 1, because that's the easiest, and we can often do that in our head. So f of 1 would be 2 times 1 cubed plus 1 times 1 squared minus 13 times 1 plus 6, which is 2 plus 1 plus 6 is 9. So we have 9 minus 13, which is not 0. So 1 is not a 0 of this function. Let's try 2 next. If I plug in 2 for x, I get 2 times 2 cubed plus 2 squared minus 13 times 2 plus 6, which is 2 cubed is 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 minus 26 plus 6. So 16 plus 4 plus 6 is 26. So we have 26 minus 26, which is 0. So we found a real 0. Then I'm going to do synthetic division. Put my coefficients here. Bring down the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Add, we get 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Add, we get negative 3. And 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Add, we get 0. What I have so far, if I'm factoring my polynomial, I have an x minus 2 because I know that 2 is a 0. And then I have a 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. And then from here, you can try to factor the 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. You can use the quadratic formula, or you can try other zeros. Let's try factoring that. So here we'd have a 2x and an x, and then we'd have to end with, a negative 3 here, or positive 3, and a negative 1 here. See if that works. 2x times x is 2x squared. Outside is 6x, inside is negative 1x. Add those together, we do get 5x, and then negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. Okay, that seems to work. If that didn't work, you could use the quadratic formula again, or you could do synthetic division with other possible rational zeros. So our zeros of this function are 2, negative 3, and 1/2. 2x minus 1 is 0 when x is 1/2. So here are the zeros of our function. Let's try another example. F of x equals x to the 4th plus 3x cubed minus 4x squared minus 10x plus minus 4. To find the possible rational zeros here, we need to do the same thing. So our factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. And our leading coefficients 1, the factors of 1 are just 1. So divide all those by 1, and we still have these same. These are the ones we need to try. So if I try 1, then I get 1 plus 3 minus 4 minus 10 minus 4, which is not 0. That's 4 minus 18, which is not 0. Let's try negative 1. If I try negative 1, I get negative 1 to the 4th plus 3 times negative 1 cubed minus 4 times negative 1 squared minus 10 times negative 1 minus 4, which gives us 1 minus 3 minus 4 plus 10 minus 4. So the positives 1 plus 10 are 11. And the negatives, negative 3 minus 4 minus 4, that's negative 11. We get 0. Okay, negative 1 is a 0 of this polynomial. So I'll do synthetic division. 1, 3, negative 4, negative 10, negative 4. Bring down the 1. 1 times negative 1. And then add. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Add. Negative 1 times negative 6 is 6. Add. Negative 1 times negative 4 is 4. Add, we get 0. So this polynomial down here is, we started with x to the 4th, so this one is x to the 3rd plus 2x squared minus 6x minus 4. Okay, now we need to do this one. So same thing, negative 1 might work again, it might not. We can try something else. Let's try 2. If I plug in 2, I get 2 cubed plus 2 times 2 squared minus 6 times 2 minus 4, which is 8 plus 8 minus 12 minus 4, or 16 minus 16. So 2 works. So I'm going to do 2 in synthetic division, but now with this equation right here. So 1, 2, negative 6, negative 4. Bring down the 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Add. 2 times 4 is 8. Add. And 2 times 2 is 4. Add. So now we're left with, before this we had x cubed, so this is x squared plus 4x plus 2. Now what do we do with this? We can again try to factor. We can use the quadratic formula. This one doesn't factor. Let's actually do the quadratic formula. So I have x equals negative b. For the quadratic formula, a is 1, b is 4, and c is 2. So negative b, which is negative 4, plus or minus square root of b squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a. And this gives us negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 8 is 8 over 2. Or negative 4 plus or minus 2 square root of 2 over 2. Divide everything by 2 and we get negative 2 plus or minus square root of 2. So my zeros of this function are, we got negative 1 and 2. That was over here on the left. And then from the quadratic formula, we get negative 2 plus square root of 2 and negative 2 minus square root of 2. Notice there are 4 zeros, and this is a 4th degree polynomial. If we have a 4th degree polynomial, we can have up to 4 real zeros. Let's do one more example. F of x equals x cubed plus 4x squared plus 19x plus 30. And again, I need to just do the same thing we've done before. Factors of 30. C would be 1 and 30. 2 goes into 30 15 times. 3 and 10. 4 doesn't go into 30. 5 and 6. So those are our factors of 30 plus all their negatives. And we can divide all those by 1. Our leading coefficient's 1. So our potential rational zeros are 1 plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 5, plus or minus 6, plus or minus 10, plus or minus 15, and plus or minus 30. Now that's a lot, and we could go through and try them all. Here's what I need to notice first of all. This might make it a little bit easier. If I have a bunch of positive things added together, I'm never going to get 0. So if I plug in a positive number, I'm going to get a positive number plus 3 other positive numbers. It won't be 0. So I only need to try the negatives. So let's try negative 1. So negative 1 cubed plus 4 times negative 1 squared plus 19 times negative 1 plus 30, which would be negative 1 plus 4 minus 19 plus 30. So the positives here are 34 minus 20, that's not 0. So negative 1 is not a 0. Next I'll try negative 2. And I get negative 2 cubed plus 4 times negative 2 squared plus 19 times negative 2 plus 30. So negative 8 plus negative 2 squared is 4 times 4 is 16. 19 times negative 2 is negative 38. And plus 30. So my positive 16 plus 30 is 36. And negative 8 minus 38 is negative 36. 36 minus 36 is 0. So negative 2 works. Again, we'll do synthetic division. 1, 4, 19, 30. Bring down the 1. Negative 2 times 1. And add negative 2 times 2. And add negative 2 times 15. And add. Okay, so we're left with x squared plus 2x plus 15. And from here, again, factor the quadratic formula. Notice if I use the quadratic formula, if I just look at the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, so b squared is 4 minus 4 times a times c, and we end up with 4 minus 4 times 15 is 60, which is negative. So if I try the quadratic formula, I will have a negative number under the square root, which will not give me a real number. And this is asking for real zeros, so that's not going to help us. The only real zero is negative 2. The other zeros are not real numbers.